everyone, welcome to another installment from Pro Engineering. In this episode, we are going to fix everything that broke during Proline by the fire. Truck's a little worse for wear cosmetically, but mechanically, it is running beautifully. Now, the back bumper is actually broken right now from a very, very hard impact. I'm going to try and glue it, but it's likely I'm going to have to replace it either with an SLS one. I might try a carbon fiber print, just to see how it comes out. But we'll do that next. I don't know when it broke, but I'm not really that surprised that it broke here. I designed these to have these lights just because. That's really it. And obviously in cross-section, you can see that this was the thinnest spot. So the lens is missing, but I just 3D printed a new one here. This is in ABS-like resin. And the best part about this is that I'll always know that Hemistorm broke it. So win-win. Let's get some glue. CA glue on it. We'll use some accelerator. All right, and that's in. Just make sure it's dry. And lastly, here is our lens guard. It should just fit, right? Fixed. The last vehicle we've got to fix is the Shodog Bronco. There's actually quite an interesting build series on this vehicle, not just the body, but the actual underpinnings as well. While we were at Proline, we lost the, sorry, I'm distracted here because we took the body off. Okay, that's how it goes. We lost the ESC, so we're going to go ahead and swap that out. Probably wires that I've unplugged. Excellent. Okay, so under the hood here, we have effectively a mostly Traxxas electrical system. What I have done is I've purchased a replacement ESC for this vehicle, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that are going to complain about Traxxas electronics, and believe me, I'm no fanboy there, but these ESCs are actually really good, and this particular TRX4 is actually one of the first ones ever made. It was the original Defender. It was horribly abused by my dear friend Shodog, and it has failed, and it deserves to have a retirement. So we're going to swap this guy out in favor of an exact replacement. Also, we lost one of the little shift servos, and I think that's it. So the problem with the actual ESC is it lost reverse. It'll still work in every other application. It just won't go backwards. So not a big deal. Let's go ahead and pull this guy out. Old ESC is removed. New ESC is put in. I went to solder the new Dean's plugs on because I don't use the Traxxas plug. This is an adapter to power, I think, the servo. What is that? That's not good. Those should be attached. Okay, we'll address that. Speaking of bad soldering, so this adapter here powers the servo, and I don't usually use these, but I'm like, what the heck, it's here. And I just realized how horribly tragic the soldering is. Can you see this? All they soldered was the glob for this little jumper wire, but the actual solder joint between the two Dean's plugs, there's nothing. There's a little glob. Okay, so we're going to take this off and just jam it behind, coming directly out of the actual Dean's plug. What's the point of using this nonsense here? Okay, that's better. Awesome. This switch came with these auxiliary aftermarket lights down here. And I'm actually running a different switch, but this was just kind of in line. I touched it and the wire came out. So rip that out, fix that. And now we're going to change out this servo. Comically, it's working, but it wasn't. On the trails, this axle actually lost its locker and this was unresponsive. So that's what the problem is. It's just working now because it's cool and I haven't been running it all day. So the dead servo here has been fully replaced. We'll just push this ball cup Back onto the servo saver. This is able to reverse its direction using this here servo reverser. Otherwise, this would travel in the same, or I should say the opposite direction as this one here, which would give us locking in the rear and open front, or vice versa. Hey guys, I'm actually coming from my kids' current playroom here, and I've been getting these two vehicles ready for Proline 2024, and I forgot to film the end to the build video for 2023, so consider this a, I don't know, apology. Needless to say, I did want to show off a couple of vehicles because, again, this episode's been kind of short and sucked, so I might as well, you know, do a little something else here. All right, what we're looking at here, to the keen observer, is my original CC01 Fiat Panda. Now that chassis is here, and I hate this chassis. I've done a lot of work to it. It's got a ball bearing aluminum steering here. It's got an HG rear 4-link set. Maybe that's it. Wheelbase alterations. Is this an MIP drive shaft, or it's a good brand? Junfok. I love Junfok. I love Junfok, but I hate the CC01. So that has been removed. It's going to go to a friend of mine, and the Panda got my absolutely beloved CR12 chassis. This is the associated CR12. It doesn't look like one because I've added a lot. Like, for example, these are saddle battery holders. So these actually run parallel batteries. So you can put two batteries in here. They both power the ESC, which is in the back. Drive shaft extension there. I've got a different one coming in. Linked in the rear 4 links. Fronts are pretty much the same ones, but the body mounting is actually here under the body, which is how it was in the CC01. And I simply modified the Ampro fuel tank and a few other options over here to make all this work with the Panda. And I am so excited because this chassis is wonderful. Again, cosmetically, it looks nearly identical other than the fact that the wheels sit better, the car is significantly lower, the interior isn't hitting the chassis like it used to, so I'm thrilled about this. That'll be a Proline and we'll get lots of miles. Okay, so back over here, this video is coming out next. This is the Element Enduro Ecto, right? Ecto, yeah. And we have a series of body mounts for this thing here that will allow you to adapt all kinds of Tamiya bodies, not the lunchbox. Stop talking about the lunchbox. That body is tiny in comparison to even the Jeep body. So that I have a chassis for already. That's the WPL Ampro designed chassis. Back to this. So this car will be a Proline, possibly at the associated booth. If I flip it over, dead stock Ecto chassis. These drive shafts are really cool because they are ridiculously long. So I'm just gonna cut this one down here and shorten the rear 4 links. I've got some new captured ball ends, threaded rod to adjust these. I've got a few upgrades here and there. This body is going to have a full interior, so it's really heavy. And instead of changing these shocks, I'm actually going to use these shocks, which came off of that car, to double them up here, just because I don't want to have these shocks in my drawer. So that's the plan there. This will be just a really quick build because I've been meaning to do this for years and I simply haven't done it. So again, this should be a Proline, should be operational. I doubt I'll drive it very much, but I did just want to show off the Element Enduro 12 chassis with this, series of body mounts to adapt these Tamiya bodies. I think that's all I've got. So again, my friends, I'm sorry I didn't have much more for this video here. I thought I had a lot more information, and I don't. So for those of you going to Proline, we'll see you there. And for those of you not, I hope you enjoyed a little more content. One more thing, I'm working on this. Also this, and this, that's not mine, but those are mine.